Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and draw a portrait of Da Vinci. And we're going to start at the top of our paper to draw a hat because men in Da Vinci's time almost always wore a hat. It was in fashion and obviously it kept their heads warm. And on Sundays, it was the law that men had to wear hats. But their hats did look a little bit different than what we wear these days. All right, so we're going to start somewhere near the top, but leave yourself a little bit of space. We're going to start right in the middle of the paper. And we're just going to draw, I don't know what you would call this shape. Something like that. That was my mistake. You can put that in there or not. Okay, and that was the hat brim. Sort of like, I don't know, a banana maybe? I don't know. Anyway, and then we're going to add the hat band, which is going to be just like this. It kind of follows the hat. And then we're going to draw the top of the hat. And that can be, well, I would make it bigger, but I ran out of room at the top there. So something like this. It kind of looks like a chef's hat, sort of. So there's the top and the hat band and the brim of the hat. Now we're going to decorate this, and you can decorate it any way you want. You can put stripes on yours if you want. You could put little diamonds or a buckle. I'm talking diamond shape. Probably they didn't have real diamonds on their hats back then. I'm just making some stripes on mine because I feel like it. So there's some stripes, and I think maybe I'll put a little diamond shape in between the stripes. That'll make it look kind of fancy. And if you want, you could draw a feather or some sort of ribbon on it. I think I'll draw a feather in just a second. Like coming from maybe over here. So that's going to be part of my feather, and I'll start here. And eventually I'll erase the stuff inside of it so it doesn't look like I just drew over the top of my hat. So I will erase this right here. Did I get all of it? I think so. And this could probably be a little bit wider. There we go. There's my feather. And you can draw some little lines going like that. Or you could just draw a ribbon or something if you wanted to. You can always draw more than one feather or something. Okay. So there's the hat. We're going to move on to the next part. Okay, so here's where we go back to what we were doing when we drew our own self-portrait. If we look at, let's say, the bottom of the paper, yeah, maybe not the complete bottom, maybe to about here. You'll have to kind of judge based on how big your paper is and where you started your drawing. But let me erase that real quick. We're going to make a mark. If I say his face is going to come to about here, I'm going to make a mark somewhere about in the middle, okay? Just a little tiny dot. And that's going to be where his nose is. Okay, and then to find the measure of his mouth, we're going to go just a little bit below there, maybe to about here. So if I thought the bottom of my face was going to be here, I kind of split from there to there in half, and I made where his mouth will be. And then I also need to figure out about where his eye is going to be. If my face ends here, and my nose is there, I'm going to split this section up here in half and go a little bit above that, because his eyes are going to be a little bit higher. Okay, so now we're going to draw his nose first, because his eyes are not in the middle of his face. They're going to be on the side. So we're going to start the nose from here and go down. I'm going to make mine a little bit to the side. And then we can draw his eyes over here. And I made the second one a little bit bigger because if he was looking to the side, this eye over here would actually look tiny bit bigger, not huge, a little bit bigger. And we'll put the underside of his eyes there. And then we're going to make the iris. So remember from our self-portrait drawing, that was the big circle that she put in there. And this is the part of your eye that is colored. So it may be brown or blue or gray or whatever. And we'll do the coloring part of that later, but you're going to want to put the pupil in. Which way is he looking? Is he looking over here? Is he looking over there? And put it right in the middle. And his pupil is going to be a different size based on where he is. Is he out in the sunshine? Then his pupil will be very tiny. If he's in a place where it is very dark, his pupils will be much bigger. The pupils are what lets the light into your eye so that you can see. So if you ever find yourself coming in from outdoors and it's really bright outside and you walk in the house and the lights aren't on and you try to open your eyes up really wide, that's why your body is trying to get as much light into those eyes as possible. And we're going to put a little more detail on here. We're going to go ahead and give him an eyelid, not too high off of his eyeball. And then we'll give him eyebrows. Must have some eyebrows. And you can base the shape of his eyebrows on your own eyebrows or somebody else's, or maybe want to put a little detail in here. Oops, that wasn't quite what I wanted, but that's okay. Sometimes when the Bluetooth isn't working super well, you get odd marks from this little contraption that I use for drawing. But whatever. Okay, so we have some detail there, and now we need to draw his mouth. So I'm just going to make like a slight, this looks down a little bit too far for me. I think I'm going to put it right about here. That is not his mouth, that is the top of his lip. And there's the other side. And we're going to give him not much of a smile. Okay, there's his mouth. It's kind of funny to me, but whatever. But we're also going to give him a mustachio. But first we need to go ahead and do the sides of his face as well. And the sides of his face are just going to be super duper easy. We're just going to go like this all the way down. What? His face isn't that long. You're right, it isn't that long. But he had very long hair. So we're going to have his hair go all the way down to there. So let's go ahead and sketch out his mustache. And I'm going to use his mustache to kind of cover up some of the spots on his lips that I don't really like. But if yours turned out better, you can not do that. And I'm going to draw this right here to give me a place to start his mustache from. And obviously you guys are probably using pencil or crayons or something, which is going to look a lot better than my little computerized drawing tool. But use a mustache. And we're going to have his hair coming all the way out of his hat and down. So this is actually his hair too, which kind of, I'm going to make some little dots here to show about where his beard starts. And his beard can go, oh, I really don't like his mouth. His beard can go from those dots and they kind of blend into his hair. Remember how his hair and his beard just sort of flowed all together? And he had wavy hair and beard, so you can just kind of fill this in like this. And of course, you can do this in color. You can do this in pencil, whatever you would like. Again, if I were doing this in pencil, I would probably take this mouth and I would probably redo it because I'm not super happy with it. But that's okay. This is for practice. Nobody said we had to be Leonardo da Vinci by the time we were done practicing making his face. But basically, that is Mr. Da Vinci. So decorate yours and take a picture of it, upload it to Nearpod or to the slides, whatever works for you, and have a great day.